Welcome, reading one, you beautiful souls. I had so much fun putting your reading together. So much fairy energy. I mean, clearly with this card, with this fairy here, I'm actually going to turn this light on over here to give you even more. Look at that. Precious. Oh my goodness. And this is how I feel like you guys. Like, this is how I see you. Like you love talking to the animals, hanging out with the animals. And also, I'm hearing meeting of the minds. It says meeting down there, number 9. But I'm feeling this kind of like meeting of the minds. So for some of you, it's very interesting. I feel like right out the gate, I feel like some of you are like, I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go. I'm not sure what my purpose is. I know I'm supposed to be setting intentions, but I'm all over the place. I want to do this. I want to do that, blah, blah, blah. Like, I feel your energy. It was so scattered. It was so scattered. But let me tell you something. It was so scattered that it affected me deeply. And that also tells me how powerful you guys are. So you are in control of this scattered energy. I'm hearing to get grounded. Now, listen, Gemini season just came in. Whenever you watch this, it's still applicable even if it's not Gemini season. It's like that energy is like, right, like the air energy. So maybe like something is chaotic, like all around you, all around your world. I'm also feeling this fighting, like you're fighting against your downloads from spirit. It's like you're seeing the signs but you're not doing anything about it. You're grasping at straws again because things aren't moving. For you, it feels like they're moving at a glacial pace, but you have to remember something. Spirit wanted me to tell you this. It feels like it's moving at a glacial pace for you because you're not of this earth. You're a star seed. You're a warrior. You're a fairy. You're a witch. You're a healer. You love animals and people. And like, I just feel such a beautiful, positive energy from you. However, you're on Earth in Earth time. It's because the more you're waking up and the faster that you're waking up, right? You want to move as fast as you're woke. But we're still shuffling through this energy, right? It feels like you're walking with like dead weights on your feet, right? Like you're never gonna get there. But Spirit's like, you are going to get there. You are going to get there. And see how the lighting keeps changing on the card? That's me, because like I said, should I close that behind me? And they said no, because I was like, there's a glare. I'm like, I'm like, I want to make it perfect. I want to see, look at, do you see, I'm like, ooh, look at, I can change the lighting like that. But it's because we're magicians and we are so powerful and we can change things. And, we understand all about the energies, the quadruplicities, right? The cardinal, the fixed, and the, oh my gosh, mutable. So with that being said, I'm hearing that the meeting of the minds is with you in spirit. So interesting, because when I was, saying, oh, if you're drawn to this, whatever, I said I felt like it was going to be a meeting, and we'll get into this reading. We'll see what's going on. But like right out the gate, like that's what I'm feeling. So slow your roll and enjoy things and try and slow down if you can. Oh, they're saying no book right now. Okay. I wanted to read from the book and they said no. So I'm going to see if there are any other, because it's one reading for multiple people. So always take things with a grain of salt too, right? Because if it's not your message or it's not your medicine, then it's not for you. Like, right? Like I'm going through all of the decks right now. I'm trying to pull from them and you can hear it's like when I'm doing that, it's like they're not letting me pull anything because, there's no messages there. And also, don't get so bored and start fucking around and pulling too many cards or, because you have to remember, especially if you're pulling cards for yourself, which is why I rarely ever pull cards for myself, is because we are influencing all of our own energy. So depending on where we are, if we're really, really grounded and solid, the best time to do a reading for yourself is when you don't need one. Right? Because when we are trying to read for ourselves, or if we're going and searching out like readings or trying to find answers elsewhere or calling friends or, watching a movie or distraction, it's taking us away from that meeting of minds with ourselves. And I'm feeling for some of you, like my mind keeps coming like right here, it's because you miss love, because we are divine loving beings. And if, oh, my throat, oh, I love you guys so much. Cry, my babies, I love you. Like, I am you and you are me. Like, I say my babies because that's what it felt like. These children, I just felt like, oh my gosh, like I just felt like these crying children. And I'm like, Spirit, please let them free, set them free, open your heart. Let me tell you something. I am really recognizing now more than ever that I'm in Loverville with my husband. I've been feeling like really good, like things have been really awesome. And while I've been in that energy with him, I've been finding I don't want to do readings as much. And I realized today it's because my energy is like all over the place. It's like, right? But it's like it needs to be solid, like this. I mean, we love labradorite, right? But if it's not in the right light, see, it's dark. But look at that shimmer underneath. You need to find your shimmer. You need to find your shimmer again. And I feel like for some of you, it's like, this feels heavy to me, this labradorite. And I brought it to the Olympic Mountains and put it in the river water there. And I swear it feels like 10 pounds heavier, right? Because it is now, it's been cleared, it's been cleaned. So also I'm hearing like a spring cleaning, even if you're in the fall. Either way, it's, we have Southern Hemisphere here. We love you. You're part of our family. But I'm also noticing that I just kind of threw things there. They also had me throw like some beads, and like, I was just like, what is this about? So this Lemurian crystal like went like straight to it. And if you notice, it was covering ing, and it just says meat. So 9 and meet, MEET. So, there's something there. And maybe it's because you're going to meet somebody new. But either way, research Lemurian crystal or Lemurian energy. This was gifted to me by a very powerful tribe member who's a fairy witch. I wouldn't be surprised if she chose this pile. Hi, Zoe. I don't want to call her out unless she wants to call herself out. But interestingly enough, these beads wanted to come in. And I think for some of you, it's time to get creative and start making things again. Stop trying to go to places that don't serve you, right? Or maybe you're going to a place that is old, like old programming, old thinking, because you're like, oh, I need this to do this, or I need this to do that. And what I'm getting is, what do you want to do? What do you love? Not what you're good at. All right, I'm going to get really graphic with you guys, but I will never, ever, ever forget this line in a movie. And if it comes to me, it'll come to me. But all I ever remember is the line is where she's like, well, she was like, oh, what are you going to do? She's like, I don't know. She's like, well, what are you good at? She's like, I mean, I'm good at a lot of things, but I don't know. I mean, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, maybe you should try this. And then she goes, well, I'm good in bed. Should I be a whore? And hey, man, I have all fucking respect for whores, man. Let me tell you what. And that's just a beautiful, to me, it's like all in the way you look at the word. You can look at it as like a derogatory thing, or you can look at it as a beautiful title for a job that is really needed. Maybe you are a sex therapist. Like maybe I'll tell you something. I went through some dark struggles after being sexually molested, raped, abused, touched. Horrible things have happened to me. And I never thought I was going to heal that part of me that was broken. And then I found this beautiful angel spirit put into my life, this guy, and he healed me sexually. And he did it where it was kind of, I felt like it was perverse, but he was trying to teach me how to re-identify with what felt good and what didn't. And he's like, okay, good. Now we know like that doesn't feel good, or that. But then he'd ask me, why doesn't that feel good? And I was like, dude, what are you, fucking a masochist? I'm like, can't we just have sex? And at the time I was in a really dark place, right? And I was just like, I'm just looking for sex here. I'm like, can we just like move it along? I'm like, but then he became my lover for quite some time. And then over time I learned to trust him. And now I understand what he was doing. And he saved me, and he helped me reintroduce myself to myself. Masturbating became really beautiful. Oh my gosh. Okay. So also, Vanille, I forget her name. Vanille, I believe is her name. Vervant Vanille, I believe, is her YouTube channel, but she just put out this beautiful episode about masturbation and loving ourselves. It was so beautiful. I will put a link in the comment section of the main reading. Then that way it'll, because I feel like that's something everyone should watch. It was really powerful because especially women, and I'm not saying men don't get abused because my husband's been raped. He's had horrible things happen to him, but he has also done horrible things to women as well, but it's taken him many moons to like work through that. And he became a sex addict and he wasn't even sure why he was a sex addict. And it's really interesting because I was wondering why this wanted to come in. But so this is a Shiva Lingam. You may want to work with the Shiva Lingam because I'm getting earlier. I felt like the throat chakra was being blocked when I felt like you weren't crying or getting out what you needed to get out. I'm also hearing that for some of you, you get really emotional on your moon. That's okay. Even for those of you who are male identified bodies in this reading, if you have someone in your life who has, their period, their moon, I really highly suggest that you, work with them on it, or, maybe you'll understand more by watching that episode. You know what I mean? But there's just so many things that, I remember the first time, and this is going to be a little graphic, but I'm just going to put it out there because I think these are the kind of things we need to speak about. But I remember when I first got my period and, dude, I would like to know, first of all, can we talk about this? Because that aunt from the beginning, if you didn't watch the beginning, go back and watch it. It was really powerful. But the aunt teaches us about patience. But he was just outside, and I'm like, dude, how did you get in here? And I'm gonna have to let him be for a second. Hold on. Very powerful. When I paused it, it was at 11:55. So look up angel number 11:55. Also, I just asked the aunt. I said I can put you outside, or you can leave on your own. But I thank you for your medicine. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. Oh, thank you for being here. Oh my gosh, he's cleaning off his feelers. He's being really cute. So look up Aunt Spirit Medicine. Obviously, Spirit wants you to work with that. And it's really just about patience. But getting back to, you know, basically what I was going to talk about is when I remember when I first got my moon, I was on vacation with my best friend's family. Lucky for me, blessed for me that it was a family of witches, and it was with my friend. It was four sisters, and the mom and the dad was there. But the dad was super sweet, super sensitive. He was like a dream dad. Honestly, I love him. I used him for a character in one of my books. That's how much I loved her dad. But long story short, they all handled it with such love and grace. It was unbelievable. But I remember when I first started to deal with that, I'm 12 and I was kind of a late bloomer, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to wear this thing between my legs. And it was just like, yeah, you just have to do it, and this is like, early 80s, and tampons weren't like a big, yes, they had them, but anyway, they were awful and hard and made of cardboard. Like, who would, like, anyway. But I remember like the first time I used a tampon and I was like, this feels really wrong, but at the same time, I liked the freedom of wearing one. But I mean, when you're a young girl like that, it's a different way our bodies change. And I'm not dismissing any of our that were born boys. Let me tell you, I quote unquote boys with a penis, males. And I'm not saying, because I mean, I've been with enough men, I've heard stories. I had a brother, like, I know your struggles were just as real, in different ways. But it's like one of those things, like we all get pubic hair, we all get underarm hair, we all get leg, or all that stuff. But it's just different for girls. It's like all of a sudden it's like, oh, you're a woman now. And but it's just this very morphed idea of what the reality is. And I feel like for some of you, this story was told, and I was meant to share this with you because I feel like you're meant to do something powerful like that. Not everybody, it could just be for one person, but like maybe you're meant to like work with teenage girls, or like help. I did the Big Brothers Big Sisters program, and I remember when they asked me what kind of child I wanted, and they had this questionnaire thing. And when after, they do, it's a big process. You have to go through a lot of vetting. Of course, you're working with children, background checks, all that. And long story short, when I had my final interview, he said, so I'm kind of baffled. He said, you asked for the least wanted kid, type of kid. And I said, what do you mean? And he said, you want to work with 11 to 17-year-olds? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, I said any age, but like that I was okay with working up to, and then he just like started asking me all these questions. And I said, sir, I've been molested. I've been raped. I said, my father was an alcoholic and he beat my mother. Yeah, I think I'm the best fucking mentor for these kids at that age who've been through those things. He goes, wow. He's like, nobody wants those kids. I go, well, that's fucking sad because I was one of them. So maybe you're meant to mentor. And because the cat is there, it could be animals too. Like maybe you're meant to be like a permanent animal sitter, or, oh my gosh, I just got a huge like breakthrough for one of our tribe members. I'm gonna have to reach out. I feel like if they're watching this, they already know. But anyway, I don't want, this isn't a personal reading. This is for many people. I'm just like, I can't help it. I know so many of you personally, or I've read for you personally now that it's like 2 of you have already come through. So I'm like, actually several of you have come through, but like 2 of you have been like, So, but it could be your medicine too, whoever you are, right? If it pings for you, it pings for you. We're all part of the same, we're cut from the same cloth. So, it's part of my fairy witch as well. So anyway, yeah. So it could be that like you're meant to do something like that, or go join Big Brothers Big Sisters. And if you have a background like that where you can help children, please do. They're so lost right now. They're so lost. Let me tell you something. Last week when I went away with my husband, we had a vacation at the beach, and we had so many conversations with so many people, and my heart was just breaking open. And also just like, holy shit, like everyone is struggling and suffering in some way. This fucking pandemic was the best thing that happened to all of us, but it was also one of the scariest, saddest things for some people. And, I'm just getting for you guys, you're feeling kind of lost in your direction, but Spirit's saying, utilize this Gemini energy. Okay. It's the Taurus moon, and right, we're in the second phase. We're setting intentions. So we're in the second phase. That means that, there's 8 phases to the moon. You're in the waxing crescent. So just start putting it out there. Just start in your meditations, in your prayers. I've been saying this a lot lately, but I'll say it to you as well. From this moment forward, as you watch this, from this very day, for the next 7 days, you can start today or you can start tomorrow. But for 7 days straight, your mission, should you choose to accept it, is when you wake up, open your eyes, take in 3 deep breaths with a smile. It's a brand new day. Nothing. The past is over. Everything from that moment it's done. So take 3 deep breaths, smile. It's a brand new day. It's a brand new life. And you ask Spirit 2 questions. How can I serve? And how can I help? And just put it out into the universe and go about your day. And you will get signs, and Spirit will show you, And you can wear your superhero cape. It's all going to fall into place when you start doing what makes you feel good, what makes you happy. But see how the light keeps changing on your card? I feel like this is you guys. You're flipping here, you're flipping there. You're like, where should I go? What should I do? Oh, I'll run over here. Oh, that's worse. Oh, no, that's working. I'm running over here. I love how they're playing with shadow in my body. That's fun. I love you guys. You're so playful and fun. Like, be that. Be that. Be who you are. Oh, they're so cute. They're like, now read the book. Like, the fairies are so excited. Okay, so meeting. The action is get ready. Also, drink some water. Work with your throat chakra. Actually, work with all of your chakras. I feel like you guys need a good cleansing and a good clearing, but definitely work with your throat chakra and your root and sacral to get you grounded through this triple air energy, right? Empaths, especially if you are, because we succumb to the energy around us. So if we're in air energy, then we're going to feel that air energy. I almost feel like this wants to be turned down. Okay, so let's calm it down. 1934 and then 35, 36. It was going, I feel like these are years for you guys too. Like maybe you were born, or I feel like for some of you, you were born in those years and you died. Like maybe you lived 3 years, you were like 3 years old or something. Because I feel like there's like this have you ever seen Interview with the Vampire? If you haven't, oh my gosh, it's really dark. If you can handle it, you know. But if you're in a dark place and you're trying to work some shit out, go watch Interview with the Vampire, right? When it's very important for us to watch things and hear things, listen to things, see things. Our environment and everything around us is important. It keeps our elevation and our vibration high. You know, it's okay to dip down low when we need to, whatever, but we have to look at life and energy as a highway. And it's in a highway of a high vibrational energy. So when we're feeling good and it's like life is a highway, we're feeling good. I want to ride it all night long, right? Like we lift into that space. We're like, hey, we're bringing all that energy to us, right? Like no matter where you go, no matter what you do, whether you're at your laundromat and we're like dreading it or whatever, and then you're like, or you're on vacation, everything's good. It's like all of a sudden, it's like your vibration's high. You're gonna bring the high vibrations to you. So when we dip down out of it, it's cool because we're working with shit, but then we got to get back up in there because that's where all the good shit is. And it's like, it's kind of like if someone gives you directions to a party and like your friend is like calling you from the party and they're like, it's so much fun. And you can hear that it's fun. And you're like, I can't find it. What's the address again? But your friend's fucked up and they're like, they gave you the wrong address and you're driving around and you can hear it, but you're fucking frustrated because you're like, well, I can't find the party. Where's the party at? Like, where's my party? Right? I want to be there. And Spirit's like, well, it's because somebody gave you the wrong address. So stop looking and searching so much. Just stand fucking still. And if you were like drawn to any of the readings, I highly recommend you go look at them. But there's a reason for this. And Spirit is saying it's time for you to stand still so you can get really quiet. Okay? And remember that you're an empath. If you were in this reading, if you don't know what an empath is, research it. But you're susceptible to the energies and the change of energies. And you have to remember that everything, life is a highway. So when you're on the highway, you see all kinds of shit, right? People are driving cool, some people are driving normal, some people are driving like crazy. You see cops, you slow down. There's all these different energy on the fucking highway. Not to mention what's going on in each car. So it's like we have to remember that. So just remember that, okay? So the action is get ready. And the advice is stay open to signs and messages. Whenever we're at that grasping straw, what the fuck, what's happening, blah, 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 that's when the magic happens. So just get quiet, get still, go slow, get back on that fucking highway. And for some of you, I'm going to go back up into the trees, right? For some of you, get back out into nature, especially if you're in the city. That energy I lived most of my lives. In my 51 years, I lived at least half of my life in Los Angeles and Chicago, like proper city. That's a lot, right? A lot of energy to the biggest cities in the United States, right? So you got to remember, 2255. You guys had 1155, then 2255. Are you seeing that? And then like 1154, 1155. Spirit's talking to you. They're trying to tell you shit. So listen. People, opportunities, and experience show up when you greet the world. An open mind is an aware mind. Mystery, surprise, and wonder hide inside every moment. Stay open to sacred meetings in your life. People carry messages. Allow your life to become an oracle. Engage in curiosities and follow interests. Seek advice. Make new friends. Ask for directions along the way, and stay alert. Listen to new ideas. Move with the curiosity of a child and stop judging and start embracing. Yes, they asked me to do this. Okay, right? Like this beautiful child who's just loving, loving, loving on this cat, right? Like loving. Sorry, you guys. My phone is. I still haven't gotten a new camera yet. A new phone. So anyway, okay. Concentrate on the love. And if that means play with furry creatures, then play with furry creatures. Interesting. So listen to new ideas. Move with the curiosity of a child. Stop judging and start embracing, especially yourself. Stop judging yourself. Gifts are often disguised as hardships. Greet them as you would an old friend. Expect the good things to show up, and they will. Prepare for pleasure to find pleasure. Imagine abundance to discover abundance. Desire desires you. The things you want often appear in a way you will not recognize because they don't look the way you expect them to. Take your time and circle new potentials. Your perceptions will tell you everything you need to know. Trust that you can determine the difference between excitement and danger, and walk away if you need to and feign indifference. It is of no loss to you. You already possess all that you need. Connections are all optional. You hold the power to choose. Do not be pressured or influenced by others in uncomfortable ways. Cats suffer no fools. Yeah, right? Oh my gosh, Baba has taught me more in the 11 years I've been blessed to walk with this gorgeous animal, this beautiful, beautiful sacred witch. She has taught me more than I could have ever imagined. We didn't have cats as a kid because my mom was allergic. And so I never had cats until my first marriage when my husband, that's all he had was cats. And now cats have been part of my world. They've been my greatest teachers. They're so amazing, you know. So also, the chipmunk came in, and I feel like we're all meant to work with the chipmunk spirit animal during the Gemini energy. But for you, please, my beautiful, beautiful reading one, number 9, meeting. It is time. Let it go. Just be who you are. Just be in the moment of where you are. Don't worry about where you're going to go next. Just be where you are now, because where you are now will take you to the next thing. Especially like, for instance, I'm going to use this as an example because they came in. One of our tribe members, she's walking animals right now. You know, it's like, who's to say she's not going to be walking a dog or playing with the dog that she's walking, or be at a dog park and meet other people that will fall in love with her and her magic and be like, what's your number? Oh my gosh. And before you know it, it's like they blow up and they're like, they're in fucking, New Zealand or Australia, and they're house sitting and pet sitting, like people do that for a living. And you can make a living on the side, making jewelry or, whatever you love. What do you love? What's your dream? Everybody has a dream. What's your dream? That's the theme of this reading. Dreams unwind. Love's a state of mind. Stay in that high vibration. Stay in that love energy. Stay in the life as a highway, and don't take shit too seriously. Yes, shit happens, and you're going to have moments where you're going to have to take things seriously. Yes, you're going to have a breakthrough or a moment or a memory, and you're going to cry, and you're going to be like, I can't believe that happened to me. And you know what? It happened to you, but you're still here. You're still here. Alive and thriving. Don't just survive, thrive. Those are your messages. I don't believe we have any more, but I'm going to go through each deck because you may have a closing card. Spirit, do we have any more messages for this beautiful, okay, none here. Any in this one? No. Okay. Let's see if we have any in this one. Now I have that song stuck in my head. 27, 44, and then 45. Life is a highway. I want to ride it all night long. Oh, it's awesome. Oh, this one, they're having me shuffle. So, okay, here we go. So we're going to get a few messages, maybe one, maybe two. But we're going to get at least one message, I feel like, from the Star Spinner Tarot. Okay, Spirit. My hands are shaking. Don't be nervous, by the way. I feel like you guys, I feel like a lot of nervous energy. And Spirit is saying, but that's what you're doing. You're deflecting the energy because of the nervousness. Okay, so here we go. Oh, come on! Come on. I couldn't make this up if I tried, and why would I? Spirit is a way more gifted artist. I mean, well, we are. It's all part of us, right? It's all of our... You're doing this. You're creating this. Your higher self brought this. So we have the Princess of Chalices. But, I mean, come on. We have a bird... Or no, excuse me. Sorry. I thought that was a bird, but I just noticed that's a tail. So we have a mermaid, which I knew there was a mermaid, but there we have a tail, and a dog. And then we have smoke coming out of a house. I mean, come on. Also, I feel like this is like a cave, and you guys have been looking at this. So I feel like you're going to end up by the water. I feel like your next gig is going to be by the water. And I'm going to move this over so you guys can see. Yeah, I feel like your next gig is going to be by the water. That's really exciting. Hold on. Or something with the water, or maybe you're a water sign, something like that. But I had to say that for our one tribe member because I do know like they're doing a house sitting gig right now. And I was like, oh my gosh. I'm like, so this could be a message for you guys as well. So I'm going to go to this card. I'll be right back. Okay, so yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, hello, chalices, water. You know what I mean? It's like, so definitely. So we're looking at Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces energy in this reading. Okay. So also at the bottom of this, and it wasn't upside down and it wasn't right side up. It was just it was kind of sideways like this. And so, it's the five of chalices. And I think it's interesting because I feel like you guys are having like crows, ravens, like birds, like coming to you, talking to you. But this is just your darkness. This is old shit. It's like, that's like an old version of you drowning, right? And look at, she's like trying to hand her the knife. Here, kill yourself and come in here with us. Like, I mean, seriously. And she's like, but I don't want to. I want to stay here in this beautiful place. And they're like, no, come to the darkness with us. It's like, you can go to the darkness, right? Like, that's natural. That's part of our experience here. You're meant to go and work with the darkness, but you're not meant to live in the darkness. There's a huge, huge difference, okay? So I say the princess. Of course, it's the page of chalices, but I say princess because I feel like for some of you, it doesn't matter what you identify with. This is your divine feminine is like screaming for you. And I feel like for some of you, you want to be a woman. You want to grow out your hair. I don't know if you're ready for a full transformation with your whole physical form, but I'm hearing for some of you, you want to grow your hair long. Maybe it's just you just want to grow your hair long. And this could be for divine feminine, masculine, doesn't matter what you identify with. But it also, I got this vibe that like some of you want to be more feminine or, but I felt this very masculine energy. So maybe you've been riding in the masculine for a long time and you're like, I just want to feel feminine and frilly and pretty and vibrant again. And Spirit's like, you can though. It's all love's dreams unwind. Love's a state of mind, right? You're in control of that. So it says the page of chalices embodies a childlike excitement at prospective emotional connections. Decisions are led by a sense of optimism and naivety, being naive. The card indicates wonderment and appeals to the part of you that indulges in following your dreams. Dreams unwind, love's a state of mind. It signifies a good time to meet someone new and favors impulsiveness and letting one's intuition lead. Yes, slow down, slow down. I mean, come on, you got a cat and a dog. I mean, for some of you, it could just be that like it has nothing to do with pet sitting, house sitting, or anything like that. But it's definitely like you gain your strength from animals. So maybe you want to volunteer, somewhere with animals or something. There's a connection here. Maybe it's time for you to get a new pet. Maybe you've, lost a familiar, you've lost a furry family member, you've lost a feathered family member, a slithered, a fish. Either way, I'm just getting this vibe from Spirit. It's a lot of heavy water energy. So maybe there's some type of, maybe you want to get a fish tank or something. But either way, I'm just getting this vibe, and I feel like I'm yelling. I'm sorry. I'm just getting this vibe that it's time to let go and just enjoy the moment. You're trying too hard to control the outcome in the situation, and you don't need to. It's all in your head. So that's it, you guys. And as many messages that were coming through, it just stopped. So there's so much for you to think about, take in, So until next time, I love you so much. Spirit loves you so much. The fairies love you. The animals love you. We all love you. And just love yourself. Focusing on loving yourself. Go to the dark, work with it, then get out of there. And it's interesting. I want to say one more thing. This could be like sunshine, right? But it's like, it's kind of dark here. And I feel like they're trying to show you something about that. Like the light's back here. Don't stay in the dark. Don't stay in the past. It could even be that some of you are holding on to an old memory of that. Or maybe you thought you were going to have some, animal sanctuary or something, blah, blah, blah. And maybe you will, but it's just not right now. Like, right? Like she has to live in the water to survive. And that dog has to live on land. So maybe for some of you, it's just not time yet. And that's why the ant came out to show you patience. Like it's going to all unfold one breath, one moment, one minute, 1 hour, 1 day, 1 year at a time. Let it unfold. Don't get ahead of it, because you know what? It really is about the journey. I swear to you, at 51 human years and many, many, many lifetimes other places, it is about the journey. Even that truck barreling down the highway out there, it's about the journey. Enjoy the journey, because you don't know when it'll end. I love you so much. Take good care of yourselves and each other. Blessed be. Oh.